Alright, Mr. CatNaps here. Hope my stream's okay. My thing just started freaking out at me saying that I didn't have the right settings, so I'm actually gonna check right now. Hopefully my stream comes online soon and I'll be able to hear it, make sure that you guys can hear me, and that oh, looks like it's okay. Alright. Alright, that all looks fine. So, alright, I guess with the vlogs, we'll start with what I did or didn't do from last week, and then, yeah, I guess that's like actually the way to go about this. So, last week I brought up 12-volt LEDs, and how I was going to change out my 900 LEDs in this room for 12-volt LEDs, and I didn't end up doing it. And the main reason was I plugged in 600, actually I plugged in all 900 LEDs with a power source on one end, with my Node MCU plugged into my computer, and when I plugged in the power source and 600 LEDs in, my fucking Node MCU on my desk caught on fire. It actually just shorted, and it lit the ground wire, I believe, or it was probably the GPIO wire. I mean, there's only 2 wires, and it was literally on fire. It was pretty gnarly. I should have got it on camera because it wasn't really dangerous. It was just like insane to see this thing happening. And devices to say that fucking fried that board. It fried the first 3 LEDs in my strip, and then it actually took out like all the brains in that strip. So I don't know, maybe if I cut off the first 3, I'll be able to control the other ones. So I'm keeping it. However, I bought 3 of these strips, and I'm actually going to put them on blast right now, because all 3 of the strips had problems. Like they had issues with their LEDs, and they were cheaper than Olitons. And I was like, alright, well, like, I might as well. They're cheaper, I'll try them. And they were the Hamrvl, HAMRVL, 16.4 feet, 300 LEDs, 12 volts, WS2811Bs, Magic Dreams, and I believe the B only means that they're waterproof. LEDs were broken on every single strand. Like, most of them were the reds. So annoying. Like, right now, I have 900 LEDs up here, and I have 1 broken LED out of 900, and I'm pretty sure I broke it, because it's right where I have, like, a pin holding it in. So I'm pretty sure I broke it when I was just not paying attention. But there were so many broken. The problem is with the 12-volt strip, if 1 LED is broken, it breaks at least 3, because they're in groups of 3. It was a true failure on all these strips. I'm going to keep them for pieces, maybe make smaller things that are just powered by like a small 12-volt power supply, because I did figure that out, that if I have my light strips being powered, I can actually just use the power line inside of the light strip as a VIN in, a variable in voltage, and it can run the Node MCU. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about this before. I realized that I actually probably caught this one on fire because the micro USB was plugged in. However, that shouldn't cause that problem. I just like read it in a forum that that's possible. And I was just like, oh, I actually could always unplug it from the strip, put in new code, and then unplug it from the computer and plug it into the strip and use the strip to power it, and I'd never have that problem again. So at least in the future, I should be blowing up less of these, but at the same time, like, I think there was like 20 broken LEDs on these strips. That's just basically unacceptable. I almost thought of returning them all, but I returned some other strips that were better than I said they were. So I'll take the hit on this one. It sucks. Sorry for one company, and Hamrvl, you got lucky this time. Alright, what else happened? Why else didn't I change it? Why was I going to change it? I was going to change it because each LED is 3 LEDs. So rather than controlling 900 individual LEDs, you're actually only controlling 300 inputs. And I was only doing that because the old 12E Node MCU couldn't handle the 900 inputs. However, I was on Amazon and there was a sick 12F module. Haven't seen it before. I bought 3 of them. I was really excited. They weren't like more expensive or anything. Came in a pack of 3. I plugged it in, and not only does it drive all of my lights correctly, it drives my fade code correctly. So I'm so excited. It evened out the white lights, which was really weird to me because I thought they were just maxing all their voltage colors. And now that I think about it, I think it actually only changed the white light because now I'm not powering through the micro USB and it's actually getting less voltages. And no, it's actually drawing voltages, and that's why it's getting less, and that's why some of them are bluing out. Alright, well, talking things out loud sometimes solves the problem, but let me actually play the fade code for a little bit. This is my favorite code, and I'm super biased since I wrote it. This is my random fade code, I think. Are you gonna run? It looks like it's grouped super low. Alright, so right now, I don't even know, like, I'm gonna just show you how the groupings kind of work. So right now they're grouped by 2s. Unfortunately, we had 2 very similar colors come up. I can change one of them now. Oh, it changes the whole thing. Oh, there it goes. Alright, cool. So you can see, now it's all blue. Now it's all red. I'm actually changing groupings. Half red, half blue. And now we'll see a fade. And one will go from blue to red. Neat. And the blue side will actually start doing random colors now, I think. And yeah, so I'm actually going to group it full, and we'll just let it kind of fade through colors during this video, I guess. That's a neat way to show this off, actually. I unfortunately haven't figured out blend, and blend is probably better for this entire scenario, but it looks like my computer's lighting me up enough where it's not so bad. Alright, what else? The 12F module being able to drive all 900 LEDs is actually exactly what I wanted, so really happy there. And the rest of this weekend, I basically was working on resin pouring. So I talked about this before, talked about my resin casting. I can get the bottle of resin that I am using. Actually, 1 second, I'll do that. Here we go. It's clear polyester resin. I have it on my windowsill because it's kind of smelly and it's pretty cold here, so windowsill is a perfect place. Keeps it from curing. So let's just dive into the things I've done. Bam! First things first. The cat. We looked at the mold last time. You can see how see-through this actually is. It's extremely see-through. And there are bubbles all up in this. I'm not even sure if we're going to be able to see them. We can see kind of some of the bigger ones. Didn't really know what I was doing when I poured this one. I just let it go. You can see this top side is pretty glassy. And then the bottom side, which is the side that was poured into the 3D print, has this like 3D print like etched into it basically. And I want to get a Dremel and a polish, and we'll see if we can polish out this etching in the back and get 2 perfectly clear sides. And I'm actually going to first see how the LEDs permeate, because it looks pretty cool, and maybe it diffuses the LEDs really pleasing for the eye, and we'll put another like piece right here when we're doing our resin pour, and it will add this effect to both sides basically. So that's a thought that I had. My this cast I took out too early, and I actually got fingerprints on it because I touched it when it was curing, and that just man, was I angry that that happened. But I knew it was my first pour, whatever. Like, I got over it. And I peeled off the plastic and it was no problem. I moved on to this one, and I printed this one. I took my due diligence to remove the bubbles, and this pour looks great. Unfortunately, I poured basically over the edges because I poured too much resin, and I can't get the mold off. It's like 0.5 millimeters thick of 3D print, and it's just like so cured to this. Like, this whole base I've already like pried through it with the razor, and it's ready to come off, but these edges, I just can't get it. They are just stuck in there. And I think my next option is to take my razor and cut off the sides of the back and then peel it. But honestly, all I know is make my molds taller than I need them to be, because I have to peel them off. And peeling it off is difficult. Also, don't use 0.5 thickness. Don't use 0.5 thickness. That was something I was trying to figure out how to do. Alright. After the cat heads, I moved on to trying to make a Dota shrine. Oh, you can kind of see the Dota inside of it. The Dota symbol. And it's the thickness of an LED string, so I used the same thickness. I tried to keep this one in the waterproof plastic, and I think I can actually... I can't turn it on. I ripped the brain out of it. But, the LED stopped right here, and I couldn't figure out like what exactly happened. I thought maybe the waterproof casing reacted with the resin or the heat, and it melted and then affected the LEDs or something. I don't know. In the end, I ripped out the brain. I think they had printed a second model. I put the brain in that one. I removed the sheathing from the LEDs. I hot glued the LEDs to the base, because I found out that on this one I got a bubble because the resin got inside and pushed it up. So I put some hot glue to hold it in place this time. Wasn't having that happen again. I checked. They were all lighting up before I did the pour. I poured it and lo and behold, another failure. It just, like, it lit up LEDs up to about here and then stopped working. And this LED was also broken. Couldn't exactly figure out what the problem was, and the more I thought about it, since like one was waterproof and the other one wasn't, and the resin is zero conductivity, I think it's actually a pressure thing, because the LEDs are up against that wall and the resin is expanding against it, and it's just really pressing against it. I think that maybe that is just like breaking some of the nodes or the diodes or the resistors in it, and that's just taking out the whole strip. But at this point in time, it's all speculation. So in order to finish this Dota shrine, I had to come up with a different strategy. And one thing I realized also with this is you don't really want this shrine to kind of sit like this, because you can't really see it when it's on your desk, because you're looking down on it. This would have to be like up somewhere, which is fine if you had a shelf, but I want to keep this on my desk. And I thought of, let's just try our first layer pour. And I immediately went for a layer pour. I'm going to turn off this fading light now, because there's only so much I can handle of it. And this is what we got. And I gotta say, I'm pretty happy. Oh man, and even in the camera you can see this one giant bubble that's here. But this is a... Oh man, the backside actually looks better than the front because of how it diffuses the light. Darn. At least I know now. At least I know. I think a double diffuse might actually look just insane on my LED cube. But you can see I poured it. So I poured it like this. I poured 7 millimeters, and then I put in the inserts, which are 7 millimeters, and then I poured in another 14 millimeters, and that's how I got this. I got these bubbles, I think, because I tried to cure too fast. The biggest one is right here, and I literally couldn't remove it. By the time I saw it, it was already jelly, and I actually poked it, and I made a little imperfection that I'm gonna buff out if I can when I buff out these sides. But what I actually think happens is, printing these things, these pieces, they're hollow. And I think when I pour the resin on top of them and then I'm curing it so fast and the bottom is a different temperature than the top, the plastic kind of starts like moving and warping, and that releases some of that air, and that's what where we're getting these bubbles. So, which is why I think if I cure it slower, actually at a lower temperature, maybe not even have it in the urn and just have it cure at like 70 degrees or 65 degrees, I'll have more time to remove those bubbles. So hopefully the bubbles still happen, so I'm getting all air out of it, or they don't happen at all and I can remove it. But I can actually see, even on some of these smaller squares, a couple bubbles are beginning to happen, but they didn't even float anywhere. We'll see, live and learn, right? Also, it's hard because I can't pop those bubbles that are on it, because I just like have this thing sitting inside of resin. Like if I touch it, it will definitely move. It's a trickster game, but I'm pretty excited. You guys, it's like, ooh, like what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna build a base, basically one so it sits like this on my desk. It will have rows of LEDs align the back, and that will be like a front illumination. The only thing that will be blocking it is the Dota symbol, and bam, it's gonna look awesome. I'm gonna hopefully put some Velostat underneath the 3D print, and when you put this on it, it will feel the weight change, and then it will turn on and light up, and that would be just mighty fantastic. Next, I want to get better at doing this, definitely. This is amazing. I'm going to try to do more complicated pours. My new logo, which is over here, thanks to my boy Paul Nom. I have that in PNG. I'm going to see if I can convert it to BMP, and then from there, I think I can put it in my SketchUp studio, and they can actually make it an object. I can print it, and hopefully I can make another pour with one of those guys in it. That's what I'll be working on next. I think, actually, on this vlog, fudge nuggets, this is YouTube, and you can't really play music on YouTube. It's pretty annoying. You will just get your channel banned. Even if I just want to play music for right now, can't. It will ban me. So I think I'm gonna model the base of this, what I'm gonna use. I'll do, I don't even know how I'll show it. I'll probably just like move my camera smaller and then just make it the rest of my whole screen. I just got a new set of digital calipers. When I say new, it's only my first set. I'm really excited. If I can finish this base tonight, I'll be able to basically just get this all out and running tomorrow. Go over to the lab. I said I'm working from home tomorrow. Do I want to draw this up tomorrow? I think I'm going to draw this up tomorrow because I'm working from home tomorrow. So then I'll print it out on Thursday. Or do I want to do it right now, guys? This is the dilemma. Do I print? Do I? Alright. Cool. I think I'll draw it out tomorrow. I think I will do it on stream. So we will have a stream of that. I think I'll make a whole separate playlist for that, which will be like coding, modeling, something like that, and I'll throw these in there. That way I can show you the tools that I'm using and whatnot. The worst part is my GoPro is supposed to be able to stream to YouTube, and it should be able to do what my webcam is doing, but I tried and it was really bad quality, which is sad. It was just like, as in the stream strength was bad. So I don't think we're going to be able to do that. I think I'm going to lose my one viewer if I continue talking too long. So I'm going to let this one go. Finish up this resin pour. Once I have the base done, I will do another video with an update. I don't think I have anything else. I gotta do something more interesting again. If you guys want to buy or learn how to make LED clouds, let me know. I mean, I am watermarking all of my DIY couch stuff right now. I'm so sorry I haven't gotten that out. I just obviously got sidetracked. I actually will do that right now. I'm gonna not 3D print this. I'm just gonna finish the DIY for the couch so I can stop talking about it and get that out. That's what I'm gonna do for the rest of today. Thank you. I think Mr. CatNaps is now going to be out. Peace.